As you can see, this is an M16A1 front end of the lower, or front half rather. This is the magazine. This is a Colt USGI magazine. Has an aluminum follower too. The original magazines for this weapon were straight. They later introduced the 30-round magazines. So this is true old school right here. And then if you look on the bottom, Colt AR-15. Back then, AR-15 and M16 in some ways were synonymous. The AR-15 was the first designation before M16. The one I'm going to be building specifically is going to be an M16A1. This might look a little familiar to some of you. This is the barrel assembly. They call this the pencil barrel because it's thin profile. For this build, I want to have 100% Colt parts. It's chrome lined, has the sling loop here. We have the C for Colt. On the barrel, we should have some other markings as well. So we have the marking CMPB. Now what's interesting is I did a little bit of research and found out exactly what this means. First of all, just right to the point, it dates the barrel from 1971 to 1973, which is perfect. Exactly what I need it to be for an M16A1 build. And what the C stands for is Colt, so surprise there. The M stands for magnetic particle inspected. The P stands for proof that it was fired, like they tested it. And the B stands for the chrome bore. So the bore is chrome lined. The original M16s did not have a chrome lined bore or even chamber. There were some issues inherent with that. Eventually they decided just to chrome line the entire barrel, which is very common on most modern military firearms, even AKs. The chrome bore aids in cleaning and corrosion resistance. The front end of the receiver, this is how the mag sits in their approximate location. Here's a comparison. This is a 30-round magazine. This is an old one. It's definitely seen a lot of use. I'll go ahead and focus on the floor plate so we can read it. There we go. Here's a side-by-side comparison. Original mags are 20 rounds, 30-round mag, obviously longer. You can see the curvature. This one's straight. The curvature starts about here. This isn't ideal because this is going to be more reliable. The mag well in the weapon is straight, so these are going to be going directly up. This one, there's a curvature to it, and unlike an AK mag or a G36 mag, which has a constant curvature, these start out straight and then there's a curvature. So engineering standpoint, not great, but this was after the fact. Instead of having a longer 30-round mag that just is straight, they opted for this, which gets the operator a little bit lower to the ground. Here's a modern production magazine, which you can see is identical. The only difference between the two, obviously, is that the finish in this is worn. Just looks kind of neat. For my use, all these are fine. My life's not going to depend on the use of this rifle, hopefully. Hey, little buddy. Are you excited about the M16 build? Ooh, gotta get that stretching. Got a lot of projects going on. This one, just taking my time on it. Getting all the parts collected. Almost have all the parts as the recording of this. Just gotta get the kit, the main kit, and some quality US furniture for it. Yeah. I'm not going to do like a build video, I'll just show you a couple of clips of the progress through the build. I went ahead and stripped the barrel of all components. We have the gas tube up top, which I also removed. You can see the gas port in the barrel. That's where the gas block normally goes. Here we have a layout of the kit. Sort of did a very rough mock-up, but just kind of laying the whole rifle out. Starting from the end here, we have the Birdcage flash hider with the crush washer, gas block. I ordered more handguard sides. These match really well, but they're a little busted up, and I don't really want that. The one on the other side's okay. When those come in, I'll kind of mix and match the perfect pair for this build. We have the Delta ring, a bunch of miscellaneous smaller parts, pistol grip, bolt carrier group. Everything looks to be there and in order. The upper receiver has really cool wear and patina on it. It's done mostly to the bare aluminum. There's a cool little X. We have the stock components here and a few other miscellaneous parts, fire control group parts. The stock is pretty cool. It's an A1 stock. This whole kit is A1. You can see there's like B43. It's pretty interesting. It looks like a fibrous plastic. Hey, buddy. Maybe we can give Cinnabon the discarded handguard. Yeah? Oh, he's checking it out. Yeah. It's broken, see? The teeth are gone. Uh-huh. Still totally functional. This is with all the goo removed. You can still see where the letters were, or numbers. I should say letter and numbers. Next stop is probably going to be Hobby Lobby. I'm not going to bring this in. I don't want to freak anyone out there any more than I normally do when I go in the place. So I have not had any luck finding the correct stickers for this. So I've decided from now at least just to kind of leave it like this. The residue still gives it nice character. and it's original. It may look a little weird having perfectly nice white stickers on this anyway, so I think this is suitable. Just wanted to give a quick thank you to Numrich Gun Parts for hooking me up with the non-cracked side. That place is great for finding just odds and ends for older guns. I also ordered some miscellaneous small parts to replace some of the smaller parts that were really worn out from the kit that I prefer to have new, and ones that were missing from the kit, which are one or two little very small fingernail clipping size parts. So all the parts are still going to be Colt. You could say the barrel has been repopulated with the muzzle device and washer, the gas block assembly, and also the delta ring. So next step is to install this into the upper receiver. You're being a good kitty, aren't you? Yeah. It's raining outside, otherwise he'd probably be out there right now. Yeah. So I made a change of plans with the M16A1 semi-automatic build. Instead of basically building a complete M16A1 semi-auto, instead of doing that, I am going to just build an M16A1 upper receiver, because the lower receivers right now, as of the filming of this clip and this video, are very, very expensive. I'd be looking to spend about $2,000 just for the lower receiver. So instead of doing that, I'm going to save up my money. So I'm going to end up with a really nice upper receiver, which you'll see at the end of this video. Yeah, it's a good idea. And there's not going to be any shooting in this video. It's just going to basically be, you know, not even a how-to, just kind of show you the process of assembling an upper receiver and what they look like. So that'd be pretty cool. And that's okay, because we're patient, you know. It gives me more time to save up for ammunition to get through it. But in anticipation, I always keep a few loaded mags. We've got a 20 rounder right here. Yeah, check it out, boo-boo. Oh, yeah. Look at all your toys. We all have our toys, don't we? So what I actually ended up doing is I masked these numbers off. Instead of finding stickers that match, I just masked off as best as I could around the residue, which has been removed. And I'm going to spray paint in the letter and numbers on here. My Ford Ranger paint, this should do nicely. It's sort of an off-white, specifically Oxford white. And as far as the upper project, I know this is for the lower. I'm thinking about actually, once again, trying to source a semi-automatic lower so I can enjoy the upper. And like I said before, this video is going to be focused on the upper, but you'll later see this in another video one of these days when I have it completed, whichever form that takes. Now we just got to let her dry for a little bit. That doesn't look too bad. It was way too bright white when I was done, so I hit it with a little bit of black paint. There, added some brown to it. It's looking pretty beat up now. I added a bit more black on the edges to make them look a little more kind of worn in. Nice appearance. Looks like dirty stickers, which is kind of what I was going for. Probably what was on here before. Okay, so now it's time to install the barrel assembly into the upper receiver. So we have the upper receiver populated. Check out that cool plum look on the cover. Pretty sweet. This is an A1. So in order to torque down the barrel nut into the upper receiver, what you want to do is first brace the upper receiver using these. I forget what these are called, but you basically clamp this and then you put it in the vise. And this goes on the inside so you don't crush it. So you have to read the instructions, of course, which I never do. But pretty interesting. I think they call this an action block or a genital cuff. Now it's safe and secure. The barrel just slides in. I put a nice film of oil. There we go. See, there's like the index notch in there as well. And the next step is to torque the barrel nut down. I also put a little bit of grease on the threads. So the torque specs on this nut are 30 to 80 foot-pounds, which is pretty crazy range. So what I'm going to do is get this hand tight, and then once I can't go hand tight anymore, I'm going to torque it to 30. Then I'm going to back it off, torque it to 30 again. I'm going to do that about 3 times just to help the threads mate. And then I'll do the final torquing and inspection. So we're going to go ahead and get it snug. It's fairly snug. Now we're going to put the torque wrench on it. Perfect. So the odds of getting it on the first try are pretty much impossible. So we have the gas tube tool. This is supposed to go freely in. And you got to do some lining up in some of the little parts in the delta ring, but you see it doesn't go in at all. So what we have to do is torque this down a little bit tighter until you get it to fit. So we're going to go from, right now we're between 30 and 35. I'm going to adjust it just a little higher, torque it to that, and then let's see if it fits then. And then we'll repeat the process so we get a nice smooth, this going all the way through the gas tube port. Okay, so we're between 35 and 40 pounds, and this goes in perfect. That's great. So now we we can install. That's just a tool to kind of set it. But next we're going to be installing the gas tube. You could use this, I guess, to test it, but this tool is just much nicer and it wasn't that expensive. To install the gas tube, you first slide it in the upper receiver, and then you push it into the gas block front side assembly. I'll show you what it looks like when it's installed. Cool, now we just got to slide it forward into the gas block. And then if you look in here, there's a little hole where the roll pin goes, so I'm going to just kind of eyeball it and get in there with the flashlight, make sure it's on there before I nail the roll pin in. Look at the size of that itty bitty roll pin. It's super, super tiny. I have extras. This is an original, but I have extra ones just in case I lose it. We're going to go ahead and get that in there. So these are really nice. These are roll pin starter punches. So you can stick the roll pin in the end of this and it retains it. That way you're not losing it. And then you get it started, then you finish it up with the correct roll pin punch, which I'll show you that in a minute. You can see how it retains the roll pin. See, got it started. Now we're just going to drive it all the way home with the roll pin punch. And I'll show you what that looks like. It's going to be hard to focus, but if you look on the end, there we go. There's a little nipple there, and that kind of prevents it from walking and scratching your gun up while you're working on it. Also, for this application, a little brass hammer is all you need. I don't need to go to town with a huge claw hammer or something like that. This will work just fine, because this is a very small pin. You don't want to overdo it. There we go. And as I mentioned before, it's a good thing I had a spare pin, because the other one got crushed. I split it when I put it in there. So it was very old, and I replaced it with a brand new Colt one. So all is well in the world. Yeah. Next step is installing the handguards. There's one of them. Boom, there we go. Now we just got to install the bolt control group and the T-handle, which is these parts. So it's debatable whether or not you need the check headspace on an AR-15, especially when you're using all Colt parts, but I happen to have a field gauge here. So what this is you can check the headspace. This is for 5.56, this is what this weapon is. So what you do is insert this in the chamber, the small end first, and then the bolt on this particular gauge is not supposed to fully close. So we'll go ahead and check it out. So I just checked it and the bolt does not fully close on the no-go gauge, which is good. There we have it, folks. We have the M16A1 upper receiver. Cinnabon sleeping outside. I'll show you where he's at. I can see him a lot better than you can, but he's right there. Let's see if we can get him inside and show him where M16A1 upper. Hey, buddy. How you doing, mister? How you doing? Oh, for a minute I thought he had a leaf stuck in his mane. Hey, mister. Been a good kid. He happens to be Halloween today. Yeah, watch your tail. Watch your tail. Ooh, look what I got. I finally finished this. It's been months in the making. Look, buddy. Check it out. M16A1 upper. I'm gonna put it down. Oh, see? Look it, buddy. Look. You scared of it? It's okay. Look, it's inanimate. Yeah. Oh, come over here, buddy. He's scared. He just doesn't like it. See? And it doesn't even have a bottom. It's gone. It's bottomless. Good kitty. Yeah. It's kind of a nice day for being late October. Anyway, thank you all for watching. We wish you have a fantastic rest of your day. Bye-bye. That was a yawn? Meow? One of these days when I have a lower receiver, we'll assemble this thing into a rifle form. A rifle form for a rifle. Anyway, thanks again, everybody, and we'll see you next time.